Hello everybody. We are back with the DTM Mini Series 2025 Round 6, the season finale it is. And we are running at the Nürburgring in Germany. So our annual series with our annual finale at the Nürburgring. The only German track, so we need to run it, of course. And yeah, Nürburgring GP layout, as you can probably see on the thumbnail. So, as always, a couple of minutes away from the qualifying session. Have a look at the lobby screen. So qualifying might be a little damp, might even see some raindrops falling for the qualifying session, and later for the race it will be sunny. No weather drama to be expected for this one. As always, the qualifying session is 10 minutes in time. Get in as many laps as you want. For this one, definitely different conditions from qualifying to the race settings then. So that's the setup. Championship, we have Sluxy leading the championship and Equinox in P2. They're separated by 13 points currently, so Equinox with a win and Sluxy not finishing inside the top 5 might be a possibility for Equinox to grab the title. But then sorry, we have a really close fight for P3. You have neighbor Husky, Rick, Bayburn, all very close, and probably anyone can take that P3 overall, just separate by a couple of points. So this could be very interesting. Alright, so we are starting then the qualifying session soon. I will get you through the details for the race when we get to it. So first, it's qualifying time. And let me hit that button. And there we go. 3, 1. Zach, good evening. Hello. Hey guys in the chat. There we go. It's the track is a little bit damp, yes, sad, but not worth like going on for the intermediate tires. So everyone using the softs for now. Probably you will get at least 2 laps in before we might see some rain today. Have a quick run through our driver lineup today. Going with the championship leader Sluxy in that BMW M6. Wait for that grid to sort itself. I think Husky is in the lead. Yeah, Husky in the Audi R8 fighting for P3. Neighbor also in that fight for P3 in his AMG. Weber in the Porsche as well, with some outside chances for that P3. In the end, we have a second BMW, Ollie Henry, Rick in the Ferrari, also fighting for P3. interesting Equinox P2 in the second. Audi R8 on the grid. Nick in another Porsche running. Will he be running with softs today all the way, or will he still use the mediums on the race? We'll see. Anovich in that third BMW on the grid. Okay, it will be Husky we go on board with on the first lap. At the GP track, braking at the start of the curve on the left hand side into the first turn. That was very deep, not the ideal line. Into the uphill left towards the AMG arena. A slow left, bring that car over to the left, open up the corner for the right, then run wide. It's okay, we're leaving the AMG arena. Into the downhill left we go, drop a gear, 2 gears. Into the downhill right, a bit too much curb, oversteer, corrected it. Continue, oops, down towards the Goodyear hairpin. We see a tight line for Husky and power it out, upwards and onwards. We go, open up the turn for Michael Schumacher. It is flat. No drama. We are approaching Warsteiner, the right-hander. This one. Good exit through the penalty zone. And that little kink that has another new name. I don't know. I think it's the BYD or whatever nowadays. It is through the middle chicane and then coming around the final turn. It's the Hyundai N corner and back onto the start-finish straight with a 1 minute 57.9. That first reference lap time Slugsy with a 56.8 in the BMW. Neighbor with a 58.63. Currently we see Equinox 57.6. 8/10 that gap currently between Slugsy and Equinox, the two championship leaders. Nick in the Porsche jumps up to P3 with a 57.6 as well. Look at the other position, so Husky P4 currently, Neighbor P5, Ollie Henry in P6, Rick in 7th. Oh, bit of traffic on that lap, 2 seconds, stuck behind the BMW now. Ovich with the first timed lap, coming around the final turn. Won't be pole, will it be a sub 2 minute? Yet 5 minutes in, another 5 to go. Webern with the penalty, only on the outlap. That's not a problem. He gets to serve that penalty before he starts that lying lap. So we can see the track completely dry now. Slugsy slowing down, giving himself a little bit of a gap to the other driver, so we will have a look. Equinox. Can he improve on that 57.6 through that chicane? Husky improves to a 57.0. The Audi has the pace. 57.1. So the two Audi R8s very close at the moment. Where is Nick? Leading Porsche driver, also into the 57s. We go 57.3. We saw Rick. I had to back out, I think. So can the Ferrari driver improve? Just over 3 minutes to go in this session. Looks like we will be staying dry for the rest of the session. Bit of understeer, a bit too early on the throttle, only 2.5 seconds up. Oh, that could get him into the top 5. Traffic should be okay, I think. Little coasting phase into the final sector we go, still 2.5 seconds. That's a very careful run through the chicane. Slugsy improved, 56.5. Neighbor as well. And here comes Rick. Should get P5 for now. Slugsy with that 56.5. Less than 2 minutes to go. Husky still in P2 on the front row. Equinox with a slight improvement, 57.1. Nick in P4 and Rick P5. So Nick and Rick again close. And Neighbor P6. Ovic 7th currently. We'll get one more lap in the session. Will it be an improvement? 58 incoming maybe, 58.6 P7 it is, so he jumped, I think, Webern on a personal best improvement as well in that Porsche. And what about Ollie Henry? 59.7 currently. The best with 30 seconds to go. Don't think they'll make it over the line. So final lap probably for the BMW. He's on track to gain at least one position. Smooth run out of the final turn. Equinox jumped to P2. 58.7 it is. Finished that qualifying session. So Slugsy on that final lap. 56.5 looks to be like the pole time. Equinox finished 56.9. That's a potential front row start again. Let's see if Husky can find a little bit of time. He's at a personal best in Sector 1. I have access to that information. Would need a little bit. No, now that second sector wasn't the best. 6/10 down, so probably no improvement. Whereas Nick finished the session. Rick as well. Neighbor finished. Weber. Ovic running 57 maybe? 58.3 improved P7 it is again. So we have Slugsy still. He has pole position and 3 extra points for the championship. So 3-2-1 in the qualifying session. So extending his championship lead to 14 before the start of the race. And Husky with an extra point in that close battle for P3 comes in handy, I think. For the Audi driver. So that should be a qualifying session. Now done and dusted. Let's wait for our timer. Here we go. Please go to the race results. We'll grab them. Of course. Luxy Owl. Equinox finding him on the front row again. Chat window. Go. So. And see Ollie Henry in 9. Okay, so that's fine. So I have those. Now change to the race settings. A different time of day, different weather settings for the race. Sunny all the way it is for the final round of the 2025 Mini Series here. DTM Tribute it is. So we wait for the drivers to tick in, then I can set grid order, and then we get underway with the 60 minutes. It will be a manual formation lap with a single file, and then after the final chicane we head into double file formation for the race start. Waiting for everyone to check in. Come on, come on. Can do it. You can do it. So drivers can adjust the aero settings. Otherwise, we will be running the in-game BoP. Racing softs and racing mediums are available. No mandatory tire. There is a pit stop window with a mandatory stop and tire change though between race minute 20 and 40. So come on, Rick, begin. I'll place you then manually later on. So Luxy, Equinox, that's correct. Husky in P3, Nick in P4, then it would be Rick next up. They bother when we have Elvich, Weber, and Ollie Henry. So just waiting for our Australian friend to begin. So and set order finally. Come on. Here we go. He's in, so P5 it is. Alright, so we are starting soon. Again, the usual disclaimer. Formation lap 100 miles per hour, 160 kph in single file. Double file after the final chicane down to 60 miles per hour, 100 kph. Whole takes inside line. Right. Race start at start line. And remember hit stop window with tire change between 20 and 40. Oh, send it. Have a good race. Good luck, everybody. So, that's everything we need to know for this race. So, I'm typing like my fingers off always, but here we go. Let's start the race. Good luck, everyone. Season finale at the Nürburgring. Let's actually go to this window. That looks better. So, have a race now. Spectate mode. So, final time, the formation lap in this series. Flaxi on pole, Equinox P2. Two championship leaders in the front. And here we go. Have a look at the drivers once again for this first lap. Oh, Nick starting on soft tires. Miracles do happen. No way. So yeah, for the settings itself, 60-minute race. You see that tire wear fuel consumption ×1, so no refueling needed. The tire change as ordered with the pit stop window. Then it's BoP downforce adjustments possible, just using the weak damage. So if you get damage, it's not over for the race. So just lose a little bit of time. And then racing softs, racing mediums available. Pretty sure it will be soft for the drivers again. So coming into out of the middle sector into the final sector and slowly getting ready for our double file. So in real life they usually get the grid sign round about this corner. I feel like it's a bit weird in the game to go side by side through that chicane, so I was like, yeah, we're going double file after the chicane. It's probably easier. Alright, so here we go. Into the double file we go. Flaxi on the inside line, Equinox around the outside, and here we go. Drivers lining up for the formation, and then it's not the first line, it's the second line. We wait for the start. So looks like a decent grid formation. Here we go. And then wait. Drive through the grid boxes. Very nice start. And we see the red line. I think now it's green, and we are off for the final round. Husky not with the best start. Got caught slipping into the first turn. Let's see if it all goes well. A little bit of contact. Sideways racing action happening in the mid-pack. Everyone survived, for now at least, into the AMG for the first time. It is Weber on the inside. Oh, Neighbor got his nose still in front. And Ollie Henry on the inside of Weber. They're coming side by side out of the AMG arena. Here is Weber with the better traction in his Porsche. P8 it is, and Ovic in P9 at the front. Flaxi already half a second, that gap to Equinox. And Nick with a great start up to P3 in his Porsche 911. First time down towards the Goodyear hairpin. Ego and Equinox going deep. Losing 2/10, I guess, with that move. So Slugsy trying to open up a gap beyond. And has a decent run through the Michael Schumacher's. Nearly 7/10 now. The gap already. Equinox fighting with Nick for that P2 currently. Husky in fourth with Rick right behind. So they are fighting for P3 overall. With Leibother as well. Leibother 1.1 second. Oh, can he keep up with the two in front? That's the question. Also Webern in that fight for P3 overall. Has the biggest deficit to overcome though with the points, and needs probably a podium finish to get a chance. A look at that P3 overall. He's under pressure, already down the straight. We have Rick in that slipstream. He sends it down the inside into turn number 1. Husky leaving the door open, but trying to get the better exit. More speed, covers the inside line, now keeps that position. Let's go. Oh, very wide onto the AstroTurf. Might get dirty tires. Can he get it stopped into the AMG arena? He still has the line, but still a bit compromised. Maybe Rick with the better run out. Again, very, very wide for the Audi driver. He keeps that position for now. Tires should be cleaned up again. Rick is pushing a little bit of gravel and dust from Husky into the hairpin for the second time. Oh, too much cover on the inside, probably that's risky. And Husky runs right onto the gravel. So both drivers, with a little bit of a mistake, could give Leibother the chance to get close again. Leibother down to a second the gap, and you see Webern also not too far behind. Well, let's see Husky's perspective. Little gap to the top 3 already, 2 seconds. We look a second for Slugsy, so we see this development that we had for the first 3 rounds. I think where Slugsy was like pushing very hard from the get-go, opening up a gap. So that chicane wasn't the best though, and Equinox with a good run down to half a second. And interesting. I don't think it's enough to send it into turn number 1, but that's under half a second. You know, go on board and late on the brakes. A bit too deep. So Equinox needs a bad result from Slugsy to get the option for the DTM title in 2025. Slugsy 14 points now in the lead before the start of the race. And development, Rick got past Husky. Ferrari, Leibother also looking to find a way around the outside. That's risky, touching the gravel, but keeping that car stable, not losing the rear. And really, really close now. It's here, the onboard AMG. A little lift, tight line into the Michael Schumacher's. Oh, that's not what you want to do. Usually you want to keep it planted, carry the speed. Still in contention. And then the car just wouldn't turn through the Warsteiner. So he needs to rely on a good run up towards the middle chicane at 100. And then straight line it as much as possible over those curbs. Stays within striking distance. Into the final chicane. First gear for rotation, second gear on exit. Not the best run for the AMG. Webern is close behind. What about Ollie Henry and Ovich? Also having the slipstream still. So everyone has a fight going on. Husky with a half-second penalty. But that's good news for Rick at this stage. There is Nick. Nick in a bit of no man's land with 3 seconds. The gap currently. Equinox closed that gap again to Sluxy 3.5 tenths. It looked like in the qualifying Sluxy with half a second pace advantage. Not this time, early on. Cannot open up the gap and drive out of the slipstream range. It's nice to see that battle. The top 2 runners again. Last week at Barcelona, Equinox with a very convincing and dominating race won that. Looks like he's continuing there with that upwards trend. So he had podium finishes, I think, throughout the entire season. Usually just 1 position behind Sluxy. And then last week with the first W. It's getting really close now. Maybe too close already. Oh, Sluxy trying to defend the inside line. Oh, that's as close as it can get towards the pit wall. That is so forcing Equinox around the outside, who is braking later into the first turn. Oh, Sluxy parked on the apex. Nowhere to go for Equinox. Trying to go for a cutback left, right. Better turning, but Sluxy placing his BMW and on the racing line and parked it on the apexes, making it very hard for Equinox and the Audi R8 to go for a move. Nice racing. So let's jump back to the battle for P3 overall. Rick with a 1.1 second gap. So Husky served that penalty, still somewhat in that slipstream range. Same goes for Nay Buther. Still within a second. Webern also keeping up with the pace, so does Ollie Henry. So a little gap to Ovich. Taking it easy maybe on those first couple of laps. 3 seconds roughly. That gap to the group in front. I think he would love to join that group. Definitely Webern, I think, has to watch his mirrors more than be able to attack Neighbor. A second. Also a second for Nay to Husky, another second to Rick in P4. Again, very aggressive. Oh, Husky, another penalty maybe. That looked close. Was very aggressive. Touched that bollard. Killed it, basically. But got away with it. I think for now, yeah. That is fine. That is fine. And towards the better top end. Into the first turn. The Huracan. A bit of a wiggle for Webern. Losing some momentum. Still a second to Nay. And Ovich staying now within that 3 second range, not losing too much time anymore. What's happening at the sharp end? It is still half a second separating Sluxy and Equinox. So And you can clearly see the car Sluxy is driving. It's the green machine. The green BMW with the Schaeffler advertisement. I think that car is run by Marco Wittmann in the actual DTM. Not checking out early this race. Good chicane for both of the drivers now, the final turn. Again, initially I think the Audi with the better turn in. I think the BMW should have a slight top end advantage. Again, it's getting close. Sluxy covering the inside line again. Now, yeah, that was a brief moment. Gap. Oh, where to go? Focusing on the exit. That was a good run for Equinox. Sluxy now defensive on the inside line. We go to the TV camera. But Sluxy has the better line for the left-hander. Can Equinox hold it around the outside? It's tricky. Would like to have that advantage for the right-hander downhill, but not with Sluxy this time. Once again, and Equinox exploring the options, enforcing Sluxy a bit narrow into the Goodyear hairpin. Trying to get a run again up towards Michael Schumacher has to tuck in behind. It's single file, no lift. No for that car, good run. Once again, defensive drive needed for the green machine. Again, a bit of a wiggle, nearly lost that rear. That's maximum pressure now. Inside line for Sluxy. Can they go side by side through the chicane? Who is braking late? Equinox tries around the outside. No, was too late. Oh, it was worth a shot, I think. Nick still in P3, 3 seconds. And nearly 5 seconds to Rick, who has a very wild run through the chicane. Still roughly a second. Also looked like Husky didn't get the best run, neither. Still with them, so those three fighting for P3 in the championship, still very close. After 16.5 minutes of racing, Webern then there's a gap now, 3 seconds, so unable to keep up with that pace for now. Ollie Henry in P8, 1.6, still like not too far behind. Ovic had a moment last lap, 205.2, an off track somewhere maybe. Might be a long race now for Ovic in his BMW to gain something out of that race. Sluxy now a second, 1.1. Had a good first sector by the looks. Is this the lap where he can open up the gap and break the toe? Good run for the Audi driver, keeping it at roughly a second. And we are just over 2 minutes away from the pit stop window to open. Will we see undercut attempts, maybe getting out of the dirty air and traffic? The tire wear looks to be moderate today, so not like too extreme on those softs. Oh, that was a big cut again. Just saw that bollard, but okay, it's still okay. The game says, yeah, you can do that line. Okay, aggressive line it is then through that Vantage chicane. Neighbor just staying with those two. Both MR cars, the Ferrari and the Audi, versus the FR AMG. Now a 2-second gap opened up. Neighbor needs Husky and Rick to fight to get back into the slipstream range. So all leaders, it's close again. It's like say 57.0 fastest lap so far. Fastest lap also worth an extra point in the championship. I reckon we will see the fastest lap after the pit stop when the fuel is getting lower and we have fresh tires. Alright, so let's quickly prepare. Pit window open message. So 20 minutes now for the drivers to pick their lap for the pit stop. Husky early in. I was like, yeah, maybe someone goes for a big undercut, trying to get out of the dirty air and the traffic. And Husky, yeah, with that move, it feels like his tires will last to the end. Usually we are looking at the halfway mark for the pit stop and the tire change. We will see. Also could be a strategy option for Equinox to go for an undercut. Again, or side by side through the picture, whereas that is crazy and usually it never ends well. Equinox is definitely trying something today. So I could indeed see an undercut happening with the pit stop. Stay with this, of course. Through the middle chicane we go, and what is it? Oh, stayed out. I think both. So that battle continues. Again, different line for the final turn, and this time trying to get the inside line. I think now he got it. It's the run. First turn, and the Audi on the inside line. Can he get it stopped? It's Sluxy around the outside. This time Equinox parking it, giving Sluxy room. Sluxy has the inside line for the left-hander. Still that MR Audi should have the arrow to hang it around the outside into the AMG. Already he goes. Equinox trying to get that inside line, the right-hander for the exit. Didn't work this time. Again, another look at a possible overtake. Nick still there, 2.5 seconds, those two fighting. Rick, now no Husky behind him, and Neighbor had a bit of a slower lap, 6 seconds now, that gap. Weber and Ollie Henry still close. A second. Which maybe with another mistake at 2:05 on lap 8. That gap went up again to nearly 8 seconds. Since then, nice lap times, 58s. And Husky with the early pit stop. The very, very early pit stop. And a massive undercut attempt. So he definitely has no one around him who can push and go his own pace. Okay, a deja vu. No, this time it's Equinox with the run. Oh, he got the better exit, covering the inside line now against Slugsy again, but gets forced to run a deep line into turn number 1, but gets the better exit now. Oh, so it's replay time, I think. Yeah, this time I returned the favor and parked it on the apex. So we have a lead change. Equinox in the Audi R8 leading Slugsy in P2, but this is far, far from over. That battle, I reckon. We'll see Slugsy testing some opportunities where to go for a move. Very wide both drivers. If you go too wide, you pick up a track limit penalty. Both just fine. Oh, too late for Equinox. He's off track, and Slugsy goes through again. Yeah, just missed it by I think 20 meters, and then ooh, nearly. It's all good. We continue with the race. Oh, a big leg spike. That looked very weird. Hopefully it was just on my spectator view. Where to go, where to go? This camera, please. Once again, we have side-by-side racing action coming out of turn number 1, and Equinox again with the inside line for the next left-hander. He goes back into the lead. Can he defend that position for now into the AMG arena and gets a good line? Slugsy on the inside. Both touching the grass on the exit. Close. Nick gaining with those two fighting in P3, just 2 seconds, then quickly run through the grid. Rick in P4. Mayweather with a penalty, another 2 minutes, losing a little bit of time now to the Australian driver in the Ferrari. Weber in P6, still Ollie Henry in the BMW, right behind in 7th, and Husky. There's Ovic with a pit stop already completed, so good news for Husky, no traffic again, and oh, we missed an overtake once again, Equinox versus Slugsy. So can we get the replay and see what happened? Oh, Equinox with a massive mistake through the Miguel Chumares. Dirty tires, lost momentum, so that's why the BMW is leading again, back and forth between the two. Slugsy in, hitting. Okay, Equinox staying out for at least one more lap. Interesting now. What is the battle strategy? Overcut, undercut. Nick with a very solid race at just 1.2 seconds behind Equinox. So Slugsy in, Neighbor in. We see that pitting as well. Webern into the pits. It looks like Ollie Henry staying out. And Rick in the Ferrari as well. That was a well-timed pit stop for Slugsy in the green machine. Just in front of Ollie Henry, who hasn't pitted yet. So a nice gap. And for Slugsy, 12 seconds, then 2 Rick. So we keep an eye on Equinox now. Will he cover Slugsy's pit stop? Will he run a bit longer on those softs? 6/10 down. Just looking at the times, I think a pit stop wouldn't be the worst idea now. On the other side, stay out for 2-3 more laps, don't have the pressure and like the ongoing battle with Slugsy. Those are the considerations maybe now for Equinox. I think on pure pace, he should pit and cover the strategy. Yep, it's in. Nick going for longer. What about Rick in the number 5 Ferrari? Also staying out for one more. Ollie Henry pitting now by the looks. Yeah, checking the pit entry line. Husky with that massive undercut, so he definitely got a nice little gap to Webern and Neighbor. So Neighbor didn't change tires, so that is not good because the tire change is mandatory with a pit stop. So that might be Neighbor's race. Maybe just a misclick or whatever. But to comply with the rules, you need to change the tires. Ollie Henry right behind. Neighbor now after the pit stop, and Ovich also closed that gap, just 4 seconds. So we have a look at the lead. We still have 2 cars yet to pit. That's Nick and Rick. Nick in the Porsche. Slidey. Looks like he is staying out. What about Rick in the Ferrari? Pitting now by the looks of it. Yep, it is. So gap between Slugsy and Equinox 2.3 seconds. So massive outlap, I think, for Slugsy. And maybe that 1 lap longer on the warm softs. What makes the difference for now? So Slugsy is like, yeah, but the 2.4 seconds, so he's out of that slipstream range at this stage. Now, interesting between Rick and Husky. I think Husky got it, but now, oh, Rick just leaving the pits. It's close. It's close. More speed for the Audi driver into the first turn. Also, tires are up to temperatures. The softs for Rick need a couple of turns. Can he defend that P4? Looking promising. I think when they reach the Goodyear hairpin, Rick's tires should be up to temperatures and he can attack. Braking for set corner. Ooh, the rear got loose. On board. This is, I think, essentially the battle for P3 overall in the championship. Rick got loose. Seven tenths for now. Look at the closing speed, the braking zone. Gained 2/10. So where's the advantage for the Audi R8? Over the grass. That's not the best line. Still keeps it at half a second. Bit too deep for a Ferrari. Can correct it. Same goes for Husky. Not the best lines. So Webern in 6th with Nate Butter in P7, but Nate Butter will be under investigation. Doesn't change the tires. Little gap to the BMW, Audi Henry and Ovic. Now, since the pit stop, gaining, getting closer towards that slipstream range. We have a look at Nick, once again extending his first stint on the soft. 4 minutes before the pit window closes. And Equinox is pushing, gained 7/8 tenths on that lap, trying to sneak into that slipstream range. Has the fastest lap of the race with a 56.8. So it's just outside maybe of that very important slipstream range. 1.1, 1.2. Alright. So he's back in it. It's probably important, good news for Equinox if he wants to have a look at the race win at least. So 1.2, 1.3 currently separating the race leaders, the same gap basically between P4 and P5. It looks like the Ferrari opening up a gap now. Rick and Ferrari with the tire advantage. Very early pit stop for Husky, we saw that. And Neighbor in again, now I think then changing the tires. Nope, looks like he's retiring the car. It's a crew look in. Okay. Looks like the AMG is out of that race and out of that fight for P3 overall. Sad to see. And the Porsche is in for the pit stop. No worries, Nate. Mistakes happen, like pushing the wrong buttons. Oh good, so Nick is in, he will probably keep that P3. Slugsy back into the lead. and Equinox, yes, probably just the same lap time. Last time around 1.4. So keeping Sluxy honest, at least Nick 6-7 seconds maybe the gap in P3. But that's a solid gap to Rick in P4. Rick with 2 57s in a row. And Husky doing 58, so opening up that gap gives him a little bit of a breather now. Ovic got past his BMW fellow driver up at 2 P7. So Ollie Henry in 8th now. And Nate Bother, yeah, retiring in the car. Can Ovic catch Weber? And that's 5.3 seconds at the moment. Weber doing 59s, Ovic into the 58s now. A little bit of a pace advantage at the moment. We jump back to the lead battle, a second roughly between the top two runners with just over 20 minutes to go. So the final third of the race, the final third of the season. And we have one of the closest races and battles for the victory, for the lead this season on the final round. So far, great racing. And turn 1 is where Equinox is gaining most of his time. Sluxy very wide on the exit of the AMG arena and carries the momentum to speed. That's not the best lines, half a second down on his personal best. Also can Sluxy get that past his lap? It's a 56.8 currently for Equinox in the Audi. Tenths, alright. Getting closer and closer again. You have a quick look at the gap between Rick and Husky, 2.7 stage. So since the pit stop, the Australian Ferrari driver is flying. It was close for a brief moment after the pit stop now. But now it looks like there is no battle happening. So then we jump back to our leaders. Less than half a second. Will we see side-by-side racing action into turn 1 once again? Good run for Equinox in the Audi. We're getting the turbo. Foxy, where does he go? Not covering the inside, like fully. Controlling keyboard and the right stick on my controller with the camera action. But yeah, great racing, great pictures from the drivers. Getting back to the TV camera, it's a bit easier for me then to focus on the racing action. Once again, It's a good run out of the Goodyear hairpin. Michael Schumacher is carrying the speed, less than 2/10. Looking for the inside, no, Bacon going to the outside, maybe a run, inside line for the chicane, Luxley defending that line, now where to go, Luxley has the inside line for the chicane, I don't think we can go side by side, no, just focus on the run, yeah, that's a good run, the run was too good for Equinox, nowhere to go around, inside, outside, it was just a big green car, driving, in the middle of the road. Once again, Equinox keeping Sluxy narrow into the first turn. They have a little bit of hello, side by side, door banging. And again, can Equinox hold it? Sluxy has the inside line for the next left-hander into the AMG arena. We go once again. Where is the gap? I think Equinox has quite an idea where to go for the move. Still 15 minutes time to then prepare that. You don't have to lead for most of the race. You have to cross the line, like in the first place. That is all that matters really. But yeah, like, also need to get into the mind of your opponent and don't let them get too confident, and always give them something to think about. So half a second. So Nick in P3, very safe at this stage. Rick versus Husky, that gap dropped down a second. Husky gained on Rick those previous laps, so that fight is not over, I reckon. 1.4, a bit of a poor run for the Ferrari coming out of Warsteiner. So we see the R8 pushing, getting back into the slipstream range. Chicane advantage, I think, for the Ferrari. Yeah, 2/10 gained again with that run. Equinox into the lead versus Luxy. We go round number 764 between the two. Again, switchbacks everywhere happening. Luxy on the inside this time, Equinox around the outside, but the right-hander is the advantage for the Audi R8. Guess the ride goes very wide though. Will he get dirty tires for the next corner? We don't know. Sluxy staying behind this time. The last two times where Equinox was leading, he made a mistake at the Michael Schumacher, or just after it. So can he keep that lead now? Or is the pressure too much for Equinox leading? He definitely has the confidence to be the hunter. This time a good run through the Huracan. Can he get it stopped now for the left-hander? The time looks like no drama. It's setting up for Warsteiner, the right-hander. Good run, half a second. Now should be in a safe position for the chicane for 10th. Good run, very good run, gaining 1.5 tenths through the middle chicane. Final turn also, we saw that it was a bit of an advantage for the MR cars. But this time Sluxy with a good run and using the slipstream on the straight. We go 12 minutes to go in this race. 7-8 tenths that gap for now. We jump back to Rick versus Husky, 1.1 also between the two. So Husky gained, closed that gap. A second now. What's the gap to Weber 25? That's a big one. Ovic had a bad lap again. Lap 23, 205. I think he was closer to Weber. Now 7.5 again. Also Ollie Henry with an off track. I think 2 minutes 15.6 on lap 23. So something happened. Pretty sure 59 again. Oof. And a second now. Will this be the lap for Equinox? Sluxy still keep in touch. Good run. Go to the battle for P4, P3 in the overall standings. See the different lines through the middle chicane. I think Rick taking more risk through that chicane. 1.1 seconds at this stage. 1.1 as well between Equinox and Sluxy for the lead. Final 10 minutes of the season. One point two, 1.3. Slowly but steady since getting into the lead. The Audi is opening up the gap. Now 1.4. It will be okay for Sluxy finishing P2 to claim the title. Still, he would love to get that victory, of course, in the season finale. But we definitely saw some great racing between those two during this race, and you never know. One little mistake, one little off track, one little track limit penalty, and boom, they're in a wheel-to-wheel fight. Once again, the same goes for Rick and Husky with that set penalty. He will serve it next lap though, so if he gets a really end of the lap and the next one as well, he might stay in the slipstream range. Better chicane this time for the black Audi. And those gaps between Weber and Ovic and Ollie Henry are quite big at the moment, so unlikely that we see some changes. That was a monster lap. Equinox with a 56.6 and that gap 2.3 now. So maybe now Sluxy's taking it easy and says, okay, P2, I can live with that. Like, fair play for Equinox for that race. Can get the victory, take the title. Very consistent race for Nick in the Porsche as well. since he joined 3 rounds ago. Very good results. Last week at Barcelona, maybe the tire wear a bit too much for Nick on a controller. Still good results in the season for Nick in the Porsche. 2 seconds now again, that gap. So, and serving the penalty now, so it should go up to nearly 3 seconds, I reckon, now between Rick and Husky. Oof, that's now a big ask, a big challenge for the Audi driver to overcome. 6 minutes to go, 3 seconds the gap. I think if we finish like that, then Nick will get P3 overall. And not slowing down. 57s again for the Ferrari driver. The penalty here, 59. Also the tire wear slowly kicking in, I think, now. Oh, let's go back to the lead. 2.2, 2.3, so that it looks like that's it for the intense racing. Our final 5 minutes. Let's see, that should be 3 laps. Still. When Equinox crosses the line, I keep an eye on that timer. "30 seconds roughly." Yep, so Sloxy with a good run, gained a little bit, at least for a short split mini sector. So yeah, with just over 4 minutes to go, it's 3 more laps for Equinox and Sloxy. 2.3 seconds, the gap. See, Nick might just get those 3 laps in. Probably just 2. Pretty sure it is 2 more laps for Rick and Husky. Now 4.3 seconds. So the Audi driver struggling on pace now. 4.3. Webern and Ovich under 6 seconds. That gap. 2 minutes for the Finnish driver in the Porsche. And Ovich is pushing, is faster, 59s, and pretty sure this will be another sub 2 minute. Well, we see 59.8 for Webern and Ovich with a 58 maybe. Just, yeah. So gained a second. Probably a little too late, 2 more laps to go. Also Ollie Henry after that miserable 2 minute 15 on lap 23 now. Consistent lap times, 59s. Again, gap didn't really change between P1 and P2. Still at roughly 2 seconds. We will see. And Equinox starting the penultimate lap of the season right about now. 2.3 seconds the gap to Sloxy. Personal best. Okay, he's pushing. He wants to maybe get that fastest lap still. What about Nick? Will he get that extra lap? Just, I think he might just miss out or just get it. So Rick now on his final lap of the season, 4.7 seconds. That gap. Weber 6 seconds, so that didn't really change much over the course of that lap. Well, let's have a look at Sluxy, this green machine, on that penultimate lap, arguably title winning BMW. I know we should wait until we see the checkered flag. It's over when it's over, not before, especially in racing. So you never know. Clock is ticking down. It will be one more, or at least the top two. Good run. And here we go. Final lap of the season starts now. Equinox and Sluxy. We'll keep an eye on Nick. Will he see the checkered flag, or will he do one more? It will be close. I think he could slow down and then just take the flag. Exactly what he's doing. He takes the flag. He finishes P3 in the Porsche. Rick with P4 and probably P3 overall in the championship. Husky then with P5 and P4 overall, rolling across the finish line. Webern keeps the gap to Ovic. It's under 5 seconds, just the chicane and the final turn to go. So it will be P6 for our Finnish friend and Ovic. Come on, flash it, baby. No flashing, come on, Ovic. Why? Ollie Henry in that third BMW and finishes in P8. So let's have a look. Still 2 seconds. Sluxy still keeping Equinox honest on that final lap. A second slower than the fastest lap. So I don't think Sluxy will get that fastest lap point, but it will be enough to secure the title. And for the final time around the Hyundai and corner at the Nürburgring GP track, and well-deserved victory for Equinox. Great racing with a Sluxy victory. Sluxy, congrats for the DTM 2025 title. It is, and yeah, one car retired in the pits, neighbor in his AMG. So great racing, great finish for the 2025 season. It is. So congrats, everybody. Let's wait and for that one exactly. Race to finish. So save that replay and then let's have a look at the race results. So Equinox with the win and the fastest lap. Great battle between Equinox and Sluxy. Sluxy P2 securing that title the season, as I've said. Nick with a solid race, P3 in the Porsche, and then the important, also very important positions for the final podium spot in the overall championship. Rick with that P4 should give him enough points, I think, to get that P3 overall. I have a sneak peek at graphics I prepared. So it was very close between Husky and Rick. Husky had 1 point 1 point advantage, so Rick and Brazil, I think there's more than 1 point separating P4 and P5. So, yeah, I think Rick got that P3. Husky fourth. Webern probably jumps Neighbor in the end. Champions. World Championship, but yeah. Great race overall, yeah. So, finishing across with the positions, Weber on P6, Ovich P7, Ollie Henry P8, and Weber then gets still some points in P9. All right, so that's it for the DTM 2025 series. CLR was fun watching those races, doing comms on them, and yeah, congrats to the podium finishers for the season. Thank you all the drivers that competed. Thank you all in the stream who watched. And yeah, maybe see you next year for a 2026 DTM Mini Series. So we had it like 3 years in a row. We'll see about 26 if people are still playing Gran Turismo 7 and in 2026. So yeah, that's it from my side. Hope to see you some of our other videos and streams here at the CLR. So we have TEC on Mondays. There will be a stream for the season finale of the Touring Cars Cup on Thursday or Friday. So yeah, 90 of racing going on here. So that's it. Take care. Love you all. Yippee-ki-yay. Bye. Bye.